Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
Welcome back. We are at a fucking cool point in this game, and I am excited. We've been watching it, and I've been like, oh, we're gonna be fucking back at, like, the fucking water temple again, because that's where we are in the Let's Play, but we're way further than that. We're at Cool Land, having fun.
This place looks really cool. I like the aesthetic
Oh, this is gonna be, we're in the Lost Woods, and so this is gonna be a sound activity.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna be able to hear what's going on.
You know how much
so,
I love sounding.
Everyone brace yourself. I can't hear the game, so this might get a little complicated.
Do you know what sounding is?
No. What are you talking about?
It's where you shove a rod up your dick hole.
Oh.
You did it.
I love how off you can be with that. It's like I was nowhere close to precise. It was just like, I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Replay. So, first topic of discussion for tonight. Have anything in mind, or should I launch into?
No, launch into something, and I'll save my things maybe.
Well, you have a tendency to, by the time I'm done talking, to not remember what you wanted to say, which is why I usually.
Well, I'm gonna try to talk about the 48-hour film project weekend, and so that'll be my topic.
I have a topic. So, this motherfucker named the Davoo.
The Davoo. Here we go. All the fans, go find the comment.
The Davoo is my editor, and he makes great YouTube videos. He also has, for as long as I've known him, he's been an avid commenter. He loves writing really long comments, often much longer than anyone wants to read or cares about. So Davoo has been watching through the Dark Souls playthrough because he had put it on hold, I think, to go beat the game or something. Like,
I see. So he's going into it late, and that's why he loves such a.
Yeah, he's just now watching the Dark Souls.
I thought he had just like bookmarked that shit and went back to it to comment.
And, he had left some comments on some of the episodes where we were like shit talking him about how he was like, it's so weird to hear other people like describe you and you don't feel that way about yourself, you know? It was talking about how, like the whole Evangelion Asuka in my mind, Asuka in his mind kind of thing and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. But he gets to the episode where I was talking about how I think Obama's a cool guy, like as a person. Yep. And gives, because I guess he's like I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm pretty sure he's like a hardcore conservative. And he really doesn't like Obama, from what I can gather. And he leaves this 11-page comment about why I'm wrong about Obama.
Jesus.
And he left
Obama drama.
Like, he started by posting the first like page or so, and then saying like, I know you won't read this if I post it all at once, so I'm gonna post parts of it each day. And I responded, dude, you lost me at pretty much the beginning. Like, at first I was going to say you lost me at, like, the third paragraph, but I realized that really, the fact that you're talking about this at all, and I clearly don't care, is where you lost me. So then he wrote, like, a condensed version of it that I was able to actually read and comprehend, and I was like, oh my god, you did it! You were able to actually make your point in, like, a succinct way. And then he, posted the 11-page version for anyone who wants to read it. So, and he spent all day doing this, a day that he put off editing my new video. So if anyone's wondering why my video is a day later than it would have been, not that you would know that, it's because the Davoo decided to spend all day writing an 11-page Obama comment that I would never read all of.
He wrote you a fucking thesis, man.
He's written me a lot of theses.
About Obama.
Not always about Obama, but
Osama bin
So
Bama.
I wanted to address the sort of central point that he makes in this comment. Because Davoo sees me as someone, and I've described myself as someone who's very ignorant about politics. Yeah. Because I don't care about politics. And the way he put it was that he likes hearing me talk about politics because most of the people he knows are ignorant about politics, and they have a very, they come into everything with bias. Like, they already know who they like, they already know what they like. And they seek that bias in what they consume. And so but most people can't really explain why they feel that bias.
Yes.
And I can explain, as he put it, you can explain your ignorance in a way that I can understand and other people can't.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. I am willfully ignorant about politics.
Uh-huh.
It's not that I can't understand or wouldn't understand, or even really that I'm biased. I didn't put a lot of stress on this point in that video, but I know Obama's not a great guy.
Yeah.
I know that. I know he's caused all kinds of horrible things to happen. The only thing I mentioned in the video was the drone strikes, because it's just like a simplified way of putting it, you know. But I know he's done all kinds of terrible shit, and I'm sure that he's not always on top of his game, which is sort of what Davoo was getting at. His comment was this incredibly long version of he's not always that cool guy who you saw.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone is. Like, I think most people are pretty shitty most of the time.
And I think there's probably things that he's done that he didn't want to do that may have been necessary.
I mean,
you know?
he talked about some of it where he said that there's...
Some things where we'll never fucking know, like, why.
Yeah, and that's the biggest reason that I remain willfully ignorant about politics is because I hate, and I also do this with the news in general.
Yes.
I hate hearing a story I don't have context for.
Yes.
Because I don't want to form an opinion on something when I wasn't there and I don't understand it, you know? Like, it bothers me when, say, something happens like someone gets killed for some reason.
Yeah.
And, like, there's the story of what everyone thinks happened, but I wasn't there. And I don't really want to form a judgment about it having not been there. I can say certain things like, you know, maybe someone shouldn't have been shot, and no matter what the circumstances are, this should never have been the result. But, you know, I don't want to judge the situation when I don't have a very good grasp of the situation. It would be like if I tried to write an analysis of an anime series after reading the plot summary. You know, like, you're just not getting the real story. You're not getting the whole perspective of it. So when it comes to politics, I think so much of what everyone thinks about it is lacking in context. We don't really know what's going on behind, like, who's making the decisions and why, what the more complicated reasons for things
really,
are.
the part of it we see is just like this, like this whole other like fakey medium that we're getting, you know?
Right.
Like, we don't see the reality of it all.
I'm a very big fan of the phrase from the Jane's Addiction song, the news is just another show.
Yes.
Because it is. The news is a TV show. You are getting...
Why I'm the same way with being ignorant about the news and being really satisfied with that, because it's like, it's just a whole nother thing you gotta fucking keep track of.
Right.
Like, it's all bullshit, it's all unending. Like, if you're gonna go vote, you should at least be educated on who you're voting for, but you can't keep track of all this shit. And it's all bullshit in the end
obviously, journalistic efforts try to be, you know, the point of journalism is to try to be objective and to try to get facts. And of course, there's, you know, there's more hardcore journalists out there. But speaking as a journalist myself, I know you never have all the facts.
Yes.
You know, I've never written a video about something and thought I knew everything about this. I think here's my perspective on it from what I can see. Like, you know, I'm writing about Nanoha right now. Do I know anything about the writer Masaki Tsuzuki and what he's writing these for? I have no idea. Maybe he's writing it all just for the money. Maybe he's really passionate about it. Maybe he's this or that. Like, I can only say, like, what impression I'm getting from looking at the data that I have. But, like, I'll never have all the facts, you know? So this is why I have a hard time trusting, like, it's like, I guess being a journalist makes me not trust journalism because I know how hard it is to have more than your impressions and your thoughts and your
And they put this shit together incredibly quick. Like, all reporting is like one day of work that they're throwing together to make a story.
Sometimes it's a whole office's one day of work, you know, a bunch of people doing research, making phone calls and stuff like that. And stories get updated over time, but like...
But it's fucking difficult.
Yeah, and so all of that has to do with why I remain ignorant of stuff and why I don't, like, super look into it. Like, my point when I talked about Obama and what I think makes him cool wasn't to say that this is the fact about Obama. It was to say this is my impression of Obama. This is how I feel from listening to him talk, which is no different from if I said how I feel about myself from a book I wrote.
Yeah.
You know, a book written by me will not give you the full impression of who I am. You were with me earlier today. What do you think the shittiest thing I did today was?
The shittiest thing you did today?
Yes. What's the shittiest thing I did today?
What?
I threw a cigarette butt on the ground.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you're right.
Just open
I didn't
littering.
notice.
I smoked a cigarette. We were out on a walk. There's no trash cans around. I just threw it on the ground.
Wow. What a fucking asshole.
So, if you saw someone doing that, you'd be like, this fucker right here.
Yeah.
If you were in public. You
Well,
know.
I don't really give a shit.
Well, if you see
I'm
someone
also an
littering in
asshole.
front of you, don't you usually think, the fuck this guy? But then, that guy who threw that cigarette butt is also me, the cool guy, who
Yes.
people may respect for one reason or another, you know? So, obviously there's a huge difference between littering and, like, war crimes, but my point is that this puzzle's fucking with my head. I have no idea what you're trying to get done here.
Like, trying to focus on you talking and trying to focus on the puzzle is, like,
Are you trying to get them
very
both to stand on the things?
Yes, I have to get them both to stand on the things.
You're gonna have to lock one of them
I've
to
done
a
this-
wall for a while.
Done this much faster before, but now I'm like, you know how it is. I'm fucking brain farting.
You gotta...
I know I have to lock one on the wall.
Well, you fucked up already.
Did I?
You want them to be one space apart, not two spaces apart. Anyway, oh, you know what? Maybe you do have this.
Oh shit! Hold on. I have to think 2 seconds. Keep talking about something while I think.
Right. That's really fucking with my head, man.
Okay.
So, anyways, you know, lack of context and my ultimate message is that I like Obama subjectively, not based on the facts about who he is.
Yeah.
But based on the impression of him that comes off in his interviews and books and like writing about himself, you know. I don't necessarily think that he's like a great guy just because of that.
Yes.
Now, the other thing, I feel like I've never explained publicly any of my political ideology.
Yeah.
And only recently I found the perfect figurehead for my political ideology, like the perfect character I can look at and say, that's basically how I feel about politics. What character do you think it is?
Fuck if I know.
What, do you have anything that would represent your political ideology at all? Anything
John
like that?
Stewart.
John Stewart, really?
Probably.
Mine is Aberdolf Linkler.
Aberdolf Linkler. Everything is gray.
It's not that everything's gray. It's everything is both extremes.
Yes.
Because, like, on the one hand, I think everyone is born equal and has equal rights.
Yes.
But on the other hand, inequality is inherent in nature, and we should, you know, like, it could be embraced and it might make society better. Like, both conflicting ideologies both make perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
And for me, there's a huge difference between what I think makes sense politically and what I want politically. Because what I want politically is stuff that benefits me as a person living in the, you know, in the society I live in and with the things I like, you know, like if I were to make a political system, it would be like the civil system, you know, where it's like everyone's constantly psychologically evaluated. You try to find the right place for each person. You're trying to put every person into the perfect peg that they fit in society so that everything can run more efficiently, because efficiency is key, you know. And to me, the point of the civil system, aside from the stupid, I mean, I'm willing to admit this. I think that you thought they would both jump to the left, didn't you? For some reason.
Dude, my brain is fucked with this.
They go in opposite
I'm gonna get
directions.
so much shit for this.
Yeah, it's
Because this is breaking my mind.
It's
Like, I really
pretty-
can't focus on this and, like, listen to you.
It's pretty hard.
He killed me.
I don't really understand it myself.
I've done it before, obviously. Oh, shit.
But anyways, to me, the civil system would make sense if not for the lethal eliminator,
Yes.
which the more I think about it, it's like the only reason the lethal eliminator's in the show is to have a story. You know, like, there would be no story if there was no moral conflict over the lethal elimination mode. But it doesn't really make sense from a narrative standpoint that they'd even have it, because if the society is able to reform people, why do they even need to kill anybody? Why would that even be supported? Why is it a thing? But I'm willing to suspend my disbelief because it's a good show and it's more entertaining when there's a moral conflict, you know? But, like, if the civil system didn't have lethal eliminator, and if it had, like, I don't know, if all the judgments made sense and were proper, that no, go one more to the left. Yeah, go that way. And now he's over there. And then
Don't feel like that helped.
maybe not.
Fuck my ass.
This is so fucking weird. Maybe you just move them in square formations or something. Like, maybe it's a simple, like, left up, right down, left up, right down type thing, you know?
Just let me fucking think. Shit on my fucking ass.
I feel like they jumped into each other.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
I feel like the key is to get them both on the outside and then have them both jump inward.
Hold on.
Right?
Okay, wait. That.
Yeah. Get them both on the outside and have them both jump inward at the same time. No, it won't, because one of them will go down.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So wait,
well, then you have to get one on top and one on bottom.
I gotta get one. Okay. Shit on my ass, because then I.
You go back. If you go down.
Wait. There.
Yeah,
okay.
This looks
there we go.
promising.
There we go.
There
we
go.
fucking go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
You thought you could beat me?
motherfucker.
No. I thought for a second.
Anyways, to
Jesus
continue my train of
fucking
thought,
Christ,
because that
dude.
was fucking
That-
mind-blowing.
That took me a second, alright?
Phew. So, anyway, what I was saying, politics. Both extremes make sense. If I was inventing a perfect political system, it would be like the civil system. But if I was talking about what I want in my personal life, what I would vote for a president, it would be the total opposite. I'd vote for as much freedom as possible because that's what I want as a person who lives in this world.
Yes.
Because to me, what makes the civil system work as a concept is that people have been born into it. People have been raised only knowing it. You know, they've been raised through the propaganda, they've been raised through that.
Oh, fuck.
And when people believe in that, then they enjoy it. Like, if you were raised thinking that the right way to live was within this system, then you would be happy living that life. That's why people in the past were happy with war.
Yes.
People loved war because the propaganda of the nation was that going to war was honorable, that you were protecting your family. So people wanted war. And, like, we think of that as wrong for us now, but for them then, they were happy with it. They liked it, you know? So, like, if you had a system that could somehow make humanity work the most efficiently with the minimal casualties, the most effective, like, way of working it, then it would only make sense to implement that system because everyone would grow up within that system and they'd like that system. But we don't live in that system. I didn't grow up in that system. I'm keeping track of the time, okay? Why do you keep looking over there?
I was waiting. I was waiting for you to finish your topic so I could say.
Cool story, bro. Is that
Well, I
where
was
you're
gonna
going?
say cool story, bro. But we just got the motherfucking Master Sword.
Oh shit!
And this would be the ideal place to cut the episode when you're done with your rant about the civil system.
Anyway, I don't know how long I'm gonna keep talking for. That's what
The motherfucking Master Sword.
But anyways,
Assquake.
there you go. There's your ass.
She fucking said it.
Since we didn't get it at the beginning of the episode, there's your ass.
I haven't seen it in the context of dialogue in a long time.
Anyways,
fuck yeah.
Yeah. Being as I live in this current world, I am more about personal freedom and about protecting as many people as possible. I don't want to see people die.
Yeah. And
at
people
the
die
same
when
time,
they're killed.
I think the world is hugely overpopulated. I think inevitably a lot of people are going to die for the world to survive, whether we kill them or they just die.
Probably true.
Famine.
Famine.
Because we're gonna get there in the next like 20 years. All the food's gonna fucking run out. We're gonna run out of beef eventually. We're gonna run out of fucking a lot of meats. We're gonna run out of crops. The homogeny of the soil or whatever the fuck is gonna cause everything to fucking go to shit. So it's only a matter of time before a whole lot of people die because the world cannot sustain the number of people in the world. And once that happens, the government is going to change, and everything's gonna slowly change. You know,
that inevitable change.
Yeah, and it could happen within our lifetime because food shortage could become a reality within our lifetime.
Real as fuck.
And none of us know what position we'll be in when that time comes.
That's dark shit,
none
bro.
None of us are in very, like... We're all in pretty precarious situations, I'd say.
I hope fucking the nerve gear comes out by then. Because that's, like, my number one fucking priority.
So yeah,
I just want Sword Art Online to come out on the Nerve Gear, and me and Hope could be Kirito and Asuna and sit around and do nothing in a virtual world.
But they're actually
this is
like,
what I want.
Together.
So next time on Digi Bros, Conrad goes and fucks himself.
All right, next time on Digi Bros, I guess I pretty much made my point. All right.
Shit on my dreams.